Welcome to the gold standard, the Volkswagen Golf GTI. For nearly 50 years, this has been the only car you'll ever need. It is the automotive equivalent of a Swiss Army knife, fast enough to be fun, sensible enough to take to a funeral, and small enough to park in a space designed for a moped. It is the classless car. It looks equally at home outside a Michelin star restaurant as it does outside a council flat. But with the latest MK8 generation, Volkswagen has taken a mechanically perfect machine and buried it under a user interface designed by people who clearly hate the human hand. Let's talk about the buttonless betrayal. If you're a professional driver, you appreciate tactile feedback. You want to feel a click when you turn up the volume or adjust the temperature. In the new GTI, Volkswagen has replaced those physical knobs with haptic sliders. These are touch-sensitive strips that don't light up at night. So if you're driving at 11 p.m. and you want to defrost the screen, you're essentially playing a high-speed game of blind man's buff with your dashboard. It is a masterpiece of fixing what wasn't broken. They've traded 40 years of ergonomic perfection for a design that looks clean in a brochure but feels like a digital migraine in the real world. Technically, however, the EA888 engine is a masterpiece. In its latest evolution, it is smoother, punchier, and more efficient than ever. It has a level of elasticity that makes a 30 to 70 mile per hour sprint feel effortless. The VAQ electronic differential is a piece of black magic that pulls the nose of the car into a corner with the precision of a laser. It is a car that makes a mediocre driver feel like a hero. It is performance for the masses. But herein lies the catch. The car is so competent, so refined, and so safe that it's almost lost its edge. It's the adult in the room of the hot hatch world, and sometimes adults are a bit dull. From a professional maintenance perspective, the GTI is a known quantity. Unlike a high-maintenance Italian or a fragile British SUV, the Golf is built to be used every single day. But the MK8 has a digital gremlin problem, because everything from the lane keep assist to the climate control is routed through a central software stack. Software glitches have replaced mechanical failures as the primary source of owner frustration. You'll be driving along and the car will suddenly scream at you that travel assist is unavailable. It isn't a broken bolt, it's a bug in the code. You aren't visiting a mechanic, you're visiting a software update specialist. It's a shift from spanners to servers. Let's talk about the interior quality. Volkswagen used to be the benchmark for soft-touch plastics and solid build quality. In the latest GTI, there's a noticeable cost-cutting agenda. You'll find hard, scratchy plastics in places your hands regularly touch. The tartan seats are still there, thankfully, but the overall feel is less premium German and more budget tablet. It's as if Volkswagen spent all the money on the drivetrain and ran out of budget for the door bins. It is a car that is better to drive but worse to use. The depreciation on a GTI is generally much better than its rivals. People trust the badge. They know that a GTI will always be in demand. But the stance here is that the older MK7.5 model is actually a better buy for the professional. It has the buttons, it has the build quality, and it has 95% of the performance for 60% of the price. The MK8 is a victim of its own ambition. It tried to be the future, but in doing so, it forgot how to be the Golf. And then there's the steering wheel. It features touch-sensitive pads that you accidentally trigger every time you turn a corner. You'll be mid-bend and suddenly your heated steering wheel is on max, or your radio has jumped to a station playing 90s Europop. It is over-engineering in its most annoying form. It's a solution to a problem that didn't exist, creating 10 new problems in the process. Is it still the best all-rounder in the world? On a pure driving level, yes, it is faster, sharper, and more capable than ever before. It is a car that does everything well, but it has lost its simplicity. The GTI used to be the car that just worked. Now it's the car that works provided the software has finished loading. It is a peerless piece of mechanical design hampered by a digital interface that feels like it was designed by an intern on their lunch break. The stance here is simple. The Golf GTI is a magnificent athlete with a terrible personality. It is the must-have car for anyone who wants a single vehicle to do everything. But you have to be prepared to fight with the dashboard every time you want to change the temperature. It is a car built for a generation that loves iPads, but sold to a generation that remembers when user interface meant a physical knob you could operate with your eyes closed. Subscribe if you want more honest, button-focused takes on the cars that the reviewers are too afraid to roast. Or don't. I'm going to go find an old MK8 GTI that has a physical key and a volume knob I can actually grip. See you in the next one.